Now, to a movie that has soared to the top of the box office. I haven't seen this yet, so I'm so excited for this next story. I am, of course, talking about Superman. Vlad Duthiers sat down with the summer blockbuster's director, James Gunn, to find out how this version of Superman is unlike any other.
You were picked to do this movie, James, and to build this DC universe. The movie's out. It's not even a week.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Relief, you know. The business of movies is a strange one because what you're doing is you're, committing, years of your life to a project like this. So for the past 3 years, I've worked on Superman. And then the movie is released and you're like, is the public gonna like it? Are the critics gonna like it? And is it gonna make money? And unfortunately with this one, it went well on all three of those fronts. Yeah. But, I've had ones that have done well on one or none, and it's not as fun.
What is this? Crypto!
You are depicting Superman as more human. He's still this all-powerful being, but the first image that we see of him is him bloodied in the snow. He's gotten his butt kicked.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, I didn't like Superman until this movie because I don't like the idea of somebody being so powerful that they never get their ass kicked.
Yes, I understand that point of view. Now, there are some writers in the comics, like Grant Morrison, who took the idea of the all-powerful Superman and told great stories with it. But for me, yes, as a child, the reason I like Batman better than Superman was because Superman was just too strong at times. And I think that we're building a whole universe of characters. And I didn't want to have one guy who was so much stronger than anybody else that, a guy with a bow and arrow didn't matter.
And when Lois says you think everyone is beautiful, that sort of gives me her worldview, which is she is a little bit cynical. She is a little bit.
Yeah.
So this guy just flew into Midtown and started attacking people, demanding for Superman to show up?
Yeah, it's all there in my article.
And I'd actually have to make it through your writing, Clark.
Yeah, I think that you see that with Lois and Clark, that she's more cynical than he is, but she's less idealistic. I think that, Lois is a journalist to her core. And what's her key value? It's truth. What's Superman's key value? It's life. Those are two really important things, but they aren't always, they don't always go together so well.
As myself, being a child of immigrants, there's a moment in this film that I really appreciate, which is this understanding, which I've known since I first picked up a Superman comic, that Superman is an immigrant from another planet, or a refugee, if that's how you want to sort of term it. And he's standing up against the interest of billionaires and people who would seek to harm those of us who are not billionaires. How important was it for you to incorporate that into this story, which is part of the Superman mythos?
For me, the center of it was about kindness in a world that isn't kind. There's no doubt that this story was created by the children of immigrants, by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in 1938. It's even superheroes. They're all edgy and dark and brooding and, cutting people up and anti-heroes and, and I like that stuff. I'm not saying I don't. I mean, Deadpool's my favorite franchise,
Yeah.
So, but it's like, these things are, but there's other ways to approach these things, and we're missing some of the basic human values that we all share, and even there's a moment where Superman shows compassion for Lex despite everything. And how much better would the world be if we showed compassion to the people that we disagree with? And what has the internet sort of created in us, that it's making us fight people all the time. And so how do we communicate with each other and show kindness to each other, no matter what our beliefs are? If Superman can show Lex Luthor kindness, the guy who wants nothing more than to kill him, why can't we do it to a neighbor who has a different set of political beliefs than we do?
Oh my goodness, what an interview. Vlad joins us now. Vlad, I mean, when he's talking about compassion and this higher mission to telling this story, I mean, some people look at this and think it's just a superhero story, but so much more.
There is a lot going on. There is a scene, and I know you haven't seen it, so I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a scene where you get a glimpse into these hundreds, if not thousands, of monkeys that are typing on the internet, spoiling everybody's lives by posting toxic crap on the internet. And, you know, what I love about this interview is I wanted to do it for people who love Superman, but also people who are trying to understand how Superman matters in 2025. Because I think this character was created back in 1938, and the ideals that the character has always espoused might seem quaint in 2025, and James Gunn has made it relevant again.
Are you surprised that he talks so much about the political significance or lessons in Superman? Because you can imagine the studio or himself saying, like, I don't want to plunge this into the political conversation, but he goes right there.
Well, I think in our interview, he didn't talk so much about that, but I know he's been on the record talking about the political undertones of the character in the film. But really, I thought the end bit there was so powerful, where he says, you know, Lex Luthor, you've seen the film, Lex Luthor despises Superman. He's using everything in his power to try to kill this individual because he feels threatened by him. And yet at the end, or towards the end of the film, Superman, there's some compassion that is given towards Lex. And the idea that we can find compassion and some kind of understanding between people, even the people that you don't like or disagree with, is really powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta see it.
Yeah,
Are you
gotta
gonna see it again?
Yeah, yeah. I'm taking
go.
Marion to see it. Everybody should see this film.
It is funny how it kind of sends up social media. It makes fun of it repeatedly.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for letting me do this, guys. This is awesome.
Love it.
Always.
Really great interview.